Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of the Rupp Report. I'm your host, Tyler Russell, joined by co-host Israel Schill. This is an awesome episode because Kentucky basketball is actually officially back. Before, when we get to the exhibitions, they're back. Everyone says that.
Yeah.
Game one, regular season opener, Kentucky basketball is back. And they opened the season up with a 77-51 win over Nicholls. Israel, tell me what you saw, man.
Like nothing really impressive, honestly. And I know we're going to break down more on a half-to-half basis because obviously they came out in the second half and looked a lot better.
Yeah.
But what it was
we'll
like.
We'll get to that. But
I mean, it was like, what, 28-15 at halftime?
Yeah, they had 28 points.
Yeah, and that's like, against Nicholls. Yeah. And it's like, when you look at it from a defensive standpoint, they played good defense. Nicholls had a horrible time trying to score the ball. They couldn't finish on possessions. Kentucky did a great job taking it away. But you need to play complementary basketball.
Yeah.
And so if you're going to have this really strong defense, and obviously the coaches have been talking about they want a top 10 defense this year, so they're going to keep busting to get to that point. But you got to have the complementary offense to that, or else this team's not going to do anything.
Yeah, you have to be, in order to win anything, you could squeak by against teams like Nicholls playing like that, clearly. But if you play, especially when SEC play comes in, if you play against other teams, you come out, let me see, they shot 2 for 16 from 3 in the first half, 32%, 10 for 31 from the field. If you come out like that, even if you have your good defensive stands, if you come out on offense like that against any, and we even have a few non-conference games coming up that are going to be worrying. If
Michigan State dropped 125 or something like that. I mean, even UVM, Vermont dropped 137. Like, there are teams out here making the work that they should be making of these early opponents, non-conference opponents. Obviously,
it's
actually,
game.
It's hard because I was going to say, like, obviously, there's a lot of time, but it's like, it's Nicholls, you know what I mean? So it's like, you can say, it's the first game, there's been jitters, but realistically, this is game 3. They should start to get their feet under themselves a little bit better. You know what I mean? Like, they should be starting to click a little bit better on offense, I think. They've had a lot of time to mesh. And, from what Coach has been saying all summer about how good this team can be, we definitely should have seen more than 28 points in the first half.
Yeah, and, people are going to come on here, they were without Jalen Lowe. They were without Jaden Quayton. Stenzel Aberdeen came off
Collin
the bench.
Chandler played great, so it's like hard to.
And it's also Jasper played great.
Yeah,
I mean they had, like, in the absence of those guys, they still did good. And even if they didn't have the depth that they had, and those guys are out, it's the University of Kentucky. That first half, no matter which way you spin it, no matter which way you try and look at it in a positive way, that first half was not good. Defensively, yes.
Yeah.
But you cannot, as a fan, sit here and be completely honest, completely realistic, and say, I'm happy with how that first half went. I think we'll be okay. You can say you think we'll be okay. Take that part out. They will be okay.
I think so.
But after looking at the first half, there's no one in that arena that could look me in the eyes and say, I was happy with how that went.
No.
Because that's impossible.
It was like a constant theme of everyone being just a little bit confused and disappointed. You know what I mean? Everyone was like, really? This is how we're starting? The energy seemed low. Like, it didn't really feel like it was a Kentucky basketball game. And I do want to say, last week's episode, we said if they don't beat Georgetown by 20 or 30,
let alone
lose, the panic button
hit it.
So they lose to Georgetown and then have a horrible offensive game in the first half against Nicholls. I mean, I'm still not hitting the button, but it's like, I don't know. You know what I mean?
I would say, like, my hand in that first half was pretty damn close to hitting that
button, because it was like, man, if they play the whole game like this and only beat, Nicholls by 20 even, and it's like 50 to 30, it's like a high school basketball game. Like we can put up better points than that,
It definitely was extremely concerning. Let's move to the second half, though.
Yeah, that's when it got fun.
Yes, that is when it got fun. I was writing a story this morning, and I was writing about it, and I was like, it was a great opening night in Rupp Arena, and then I put dash, well, kind of.
Yeah.
It was kind of a good night in Rupp Arena. It was not a good
It was a win.
Start to the night. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. You could always be happy about a win. You're 1-0. Not in the, most, nice, I guess, way.
Not the prettiest win.
Yeah, prettiest win, but a win's a win. I mean, Collin Chandler, career high and game high, 15 points. 5 from 8 from the field, 4 for 7 from 3, 2 boards, 4 assists. And I think we just developed a new nickname that I just thought of. Cock it back, Collin.
Cock it back.
Cock it back, Collin.
I mean, shout out Michael Eaves.
Yeah.
Cocking it back to Tin Roof. What a
yeah, that was a sick
What
call.
a SportsCenter top 10 call.
I was like, you know that meme where it's like the guy pointing to himself?
Yeah,
and I was
yeah.
like, Tin Roof owners like,
Yeah.
hey.
Like, no,
that's elite
awesome.
ball knowledge.
Hey, shout out
knowledge.
Michael Eaves, University
Yeah.
of Kentucky alum. You know what I mean?
Bro.
So, no, but I think that was like the craziest dunk. I'm sitting like right under the basket, a little bit to the right, shooting video, and that my jaw dropped.
Yeah.
The bench covered my whole shot. Like
Yeah.
the bench reactions they threw it all out of the way.
Honestly, though, you want the shot.
Yeah, but it was
seeing
like
the bench was
I
think who was it? Denzel Aberdeen he literally just dropped.
Yeah,
like
he
Jalen
just hit the floor, man. It was
Jalen
crazy.
Lowe fell backwards. Aberdeen just dropped. You saw BG's.
You saw BG and Ortega was like, oh, you know what I mean?
oh
Like when
my
it happened.
God.
So
Yeah.
like, no, that was awesome. And I guess this kind of comes back to a point that you had for the first half about the Trent Noah injury, going down with a leg injury. But I was sitting right there in that same corner when he went down in front of me with the injury, hobbled off. His parents were very concerned, sitting in the front row, very concerned.
Did you hear him say anything? Probably some curse words. But.
Yeah, not really, not too much. His mom was just like,
I know, like with
you know what I
Jalen
mean?
Lowe,
Like
you were there. You
stressing out.
said you saw him say it popped. But
Yeah.
Trent, no, you didn't hear it.
No, Trent, I didn't hear much.
Okay.
It was mostly, but what I did hear was the story that he told in the press conference is 100% true because I was sitting in that corner. And Trent walks up behind me and I hear fans, oh yeah, Trent, here we go. You know what I mean? And everyone's like, huh? You know, and everyone looks back and he comes over and he's like walking up the sideline and they're like, he's good to go? Like, he's all right? Coach comes walking down the sideline. You mean to tell me he's fine right now? Like, everything's all right. And they're like, he's good. He said he's good. It's like, of course he said he's good. He's a liar.
Yeah.
Trent Noah's a liar. And I was like, that is awesome.
Yeah, he said that in the press conference. And I was like, damn, I really wish I was like a fly on the wall. Like, I would have loved to see
that
how
was
that
so
went.
cool.
Yeah.
I remember texting my mom. I was like, Mom, this was so
This
cool
is
to
lit.
be there. It was like,
Yeah.
wow, I felt like, again, I'm just like a little guy in the corner, but being like mixed in with the bench during like the reaction to the dunk. And when Trent comes back, it's like, wow, talk about being immersed with the game.
No, and kind of like what we were talking about before with the Chandler dunk, to what your story on it, I was up top and I was typing away because I was doing like an at the buzzer thing, like a secondary. Because at this point, I was going to go off of how bad their first half was. But I, transitioned to like a tale of two halves, how bad their first half was and how good their second half was. And when Collin slammed that, I'm probably never going to forget this the rest of my life. I'm going to always be mad at myself. I was looking down at my computer. I was typing. And then all of a sudden, and I'm not exaggerating, I even tweeted this out, the loudest crowd pop I've ever heard in person in my entire life.
It was unreal.
Dude, he slammed that, and I looked up, and I was like, I literally thought, I don't know what happened. Like, my first thought was like, this isn't basketball. Like, what is going on? People are like screaming.
Yeah.
And then I see the replay, and I was like, oh my God, dude.
He actually floated. Like when you watch the video back, he was just sitting in the air with the ball back, just waiting.
Yeah.
He's like, jump with me.
Someone
else, like he's just waiting for it, man.
Someone also asked him during the press conference, they were like, can you kind of like walk us through that play? He was like, I'm not going to, this isn't quote for quote. It was something along the lines of, yeah, I got past my defender and I jumped up and I saw him jump with me, so I had to hang a little bit longer and then I just threw it down. I was like, imagine just being able to just be like, about to dunk. They actually let me hang for a little bit longer.
Let me stay for a few extra seconds up in the air.
Let me make myself comfortable.
I loved what he
number
said
one on
too.
SportsCenter.
No, actually, dude, two top 10 plays on SportsCenter. By the way, shout out the fan who hit the half court shot.
Oh right,
at halftime.
Yeah, I missed that too.
Yeah.
I was getting popcorn.
Were you?
Yeah, dude.
I was sitting in the tunnel and he takes the first shot attempt and I'm like, that was kind of close. I'm not gonna lie. Like,
what did he do on a second?
Yeah, on his second try. His first shot was an air ball, but right in front of the rim, and you're like, everyone was just, all right, man, we might have something here. And then he just
put a little more legs in there.
He Drano'd that thing. Yeah. Nothing but, I mean, it was back of the rim straight down. Like, it was
one
perfect.
Of my biggest life goals. Like, I play basketball all the time, and like, I'm pretty sure I would get fired. Like, like the media credential, like you can't go down there. But if they like asked me to do that, I'm like, I'd really consider it.
No, I literally
I think I'd get close. But
I mean, like, I think if you told me a week beforehand and gave me a little bit to practice, I'd be able to get there. But I told the marketing people who were running the thing, I was like, ball me.
Yeah, next time I'm your
guy. Get
guy.
out there. I want that 10K. Like, what,
I'm your guy.
You know what I mean? But no, that was pretty impressive.
Yeah. So let's move past the Chandler dunk. I don't know how, because I've literally been walking around all day singing to myself. Like I'm in class, I'm like, jump man, jump man, jump man.
No,
like,
literally.
all day.
And the Air Chandler thing was so cool, dude. That was awesome. And the call, I mean, because I'm seeing this everywhere on Instagram. Yeah. Every single post I scroll is this dunk. And Noah Frary, who was on the call with Goose, I believe. No, it's not Goose, but he was on the call, and it was just like peeking the microphone. They were like, "Wah!"
Yeah, it was
you know what I mean? It was like,
and rightfully so.
Exactly. I mean, you have to keep yourself, composed and professional in that environment. But when somebody yams on a guy like that right in front of your face, you got to react appropriately. And I'd say that's an appropriate reaction.
Oh, for sure. And I also think a lot of people. Don't get me wrong, the dunk is what that clip is. Yeah. But you always see like YouTube videos, like the top 10 best announcer calls of all time. Like that call was like goosebumps.
Oh yeah.
Just the way that he slammed that down, and I don't even know. He floated, and to your point, like you just said about like professionalism, you don't really need to have like professionalism on the court.
No.
But who thought Collin Chandler would be talking his talk like that?
No, and he comes back, he's like,
he's like mean mugging. I'm like, oh my God.
What did he say? I remember media asked afterwards, oh, what did you say? What did you say? He was like, thanks for jumping, or something like that.
Something like that.
His little high voice. He's like, how has this guy got like a 42-inch vert, dude? Like, this guy's bouncing.
Dude, someone asked him, his thoughts on the play, and he obviously broke down like how it all went, but he was just talking about how someone said like, what did you say, or like, do you remember? He's like, I don't know, like if there's any good lip readers out there, like let me know. But I was like, I was gonna ask him that question before, and I'm really curious. I want to know word for word, because like,
he must have been like unconscious after that.
What do you even say?
That's like you yam on a guy and then like everything goes red and you're just like barking to bark.
Dude, if I dunked on someone like that, I'd get kicked out. I'd get like expelled. I don't know what I would say, but it would be like unbelievable.
That shouldn't be allowed. You shouldn't be allowed to do that to somebody.
Yeah. But in the second half, though, Kentucky as a whole, 19 for 31 from the field, 61%, so much improved.
They looked
5
great.
for 11 from deep. I want to know, like, again, fly on the wall, what Mark Pope said at halftime, because obviously you can X's and O's, you make your adjustments, but there had to have been some fire in there. You can't just come in like, hey, so we're going to switch up this. Like that first half, like I'd be flipping tables like the movie Miracle.
Yeah, I mean, you're putting 28 out in the first half. You come back a lot better. What is that? That's 49 math. I'm not good at math. 49, 59 to get to 77 after that in the second half. But, I mean, obviously that's an insane improvement. So when you put the pieces together and you say, all right, well, if they had done this in the first half, we'll look at this game a lot differently. This is 100-plus points to, 40 to 50 points.
Yeah.
It's going to look a lot different. So I think maybe we can attribute this to some first-game jitters.
Yeah.
I assume, fingers crossed, they won't come out and do this against Valpo on Friday.
Yeah.
I think they come out against Valpo on Friday. And I think what was more concerning was that it was like off a loss.
Yeah.
So they come off a loss, and then they put a goose egg out in the first half.
Yep.
And it's like, whoa, like what is this team really?
And I'm not even going to lie, like Valpo, like I trust that they'll get it done.
Yeah.
Let's see, I have it noted down. I think they finished like second to last in
15 and 19
Missouri Valley Conference. And I'm going to be completely honest, I don't know who's returning yet. I haven't looked too much into it.
No,
but
me neither.
I'm more concerned about the Louisville game. Yeah. And I'm going to be completely honest. There's Valpo and then there's Louisville at Louisville.
Yeah.
I mean, that game is going to be insane. Now that it's more of a rivalry, I mean, it's always been a rivalry. It's always been heated, but this is
the last 5 years, Louisville sucked at basketball
exactly.
until Pat Kelsey came in and fixed everything up.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm like really nervous about that.
Yeah.
The only way that I would not be nervous is if Kentucky comes out and blows the doors off of Valparaiso.
Yeah, I mean, if they do what Michigan State was doing and drop 130 to like 50 something on a win and totally clear the minds of all Kentucky fans and be like, hey, sorry.
Yeah.
Our bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they're like,
don't worry, y'all, we're good.
Exactly. And they come out and do something crazy. But this is your last chance, really, in the regular season to be like, all right, we can make mistakes.
Yep.
Because if you make a mistake against Louisville, they're going to capitalize. You make a mistake against Michigan State, Indiana, UNC, like St. John's.
Legit top-tier programs.
Like all of your other non-conference schedule before you head into SEC play, you cannot make mistakes against these guys because these coaches and these players
they'll jump on
are going to jump right on it, and they're going to capitalize. And so if they come out against Louisville and only scored 28 points in the first half, but Louisville's only scored 23, and it's just a really strong defensive battle, it's going to look a lot different. You know what I mean? But I think it's different when you're expected to be putting out 60 and a half and you only put out half of that production.
And I know like it's college sports, and I've seen a lot of times, a lot of years watching it. Like we're only 21, but like looking back, like there are extremely solid teams that keep it close with bad teams. But when there's like a game like a Louisville game, or there's a game where they know it's like do or die, like if you slip up, you're screwed. Like there's teams that thrive in that environment.
For
Kentucky,
sure.
we don't know yet. They could very well be like, I mean, kind of like come off beating Purdue. That's a good example of that. Then they lose to Georgetown, terrible game. Come out in the first half, they get scared a little bit, they turn it up. We'll see what happens with Valpo, but if they come up against Louisville, like we said, in any way that they came in the first half against Nichols, it's over. And I don't even think
it'll be over before it starts for them.
It would be one of those games where you could tell right away that it's not going to go well.
It's almost like that Tennessee game in the
exactly.
the tournament last year. Like they come out to a jump and you're like, I don't know if we can come back from this. So we'll see. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of time for them to practice and kind of work out some of the kinks that they've had offensively. It still kind of looks like they're just not meshing entirely well on the offensive unit yet.
It's fair.
It's definitely fair, especially because you know that the starting lineup isn't what it should be.
Yeah.
Especially because when we look 3 months down in the line from here, it's going to be J-Lo, like Otega, JQ.
Hopefully,
You know, there's going to be a lot of more guys who are moving into the lineup. So I just think they have to capitalize on this last chance that they have against Valpo, because they're not going to be allowed to
Because from there,
up.
it's a gauntlet. They play some other, not as strong teams, but
I mean, really, it's like Eastern Illinois, Loyola, Maryland, Tennessee Tech, whatever. But like we said before, you have to balance it out with Louisville, Michigan State, UNC, Gonzaga, Indiana, St. John's, all before SEC play.
Yeah, and you could pull another positive from this, like in the first half. Yeah, it was so terrible. But you always hear good teams find a way to win.
Yeah.
Like I said, I don't know what Pope said at halftime. I didn't see like what adjustments he made like right off the bat. I'd have to go back and keep watching it. But he made adjustments. They completely flipped the switch.
Yeah.
And that's kind of something that you definitely want to see. You never want to be in the situation where you're going to have to like observe if you're able to flip the switch or not.
Yeah.
But I don't think that. Like the first half was bad. It's worry. It's like makes us worry. It's concerning. But when you could take the positive of they came back and ripped them in the second half. And if they just played the way they did in the second half in the first half, they would have won by like 60.
I agree.
I think if you look at the numbers,
definitely.
I'm pretty sure it would have been at least 45 to 60 point win.
Yeah. I wanted to highlight real quick a few things. Cam Williams. Rough start to the season.
Yeah.
Has not made a three in either of the exhibition games or this first game of the season.
Yeah.
I think he's like 0 for 12 or something on the season shooting three or something. I don't remember the exact number. What's the deal there? What do you think, they're going to do to get the production they expected from him? Because obviously, if you take away Cam Williams, the shooting on this team is going to take a huge hit.
Yeah.
Because you really only have one guy, two guys who you can rely on to come out there and be a flamethrower.
Yeah.
And if Cam Williams, the guy who you wanted to be that flamethrower, isn't doing so, you got to figure that out. So what do you think?
I don't think it's time to worry yet. I mean, obviously you're going to see the numbers like, oh man, like this guy's coming in and he's doing this and we were supposed to do this.
Yeah.
You have to give it to him. I mean, I always try and put myself in these guys' shoes, especially at the age we're at right now. Like it's not, but it could be one of us. Like it's same mindset, same person. Like who I am, I could be playing in front of at Rupp Arena in front of all these people with the pressure, people knowing I'm a shooter. So I'm throwing him a bit of a bone there in the fact that it's a big adjustment going from Tulane to Lexington. And he was born in Louisiana. He went to Tulane. So I don't know. This very well could be his first time living away from home.
Yeah, that's very true.
So you're doing that and you're figuring that out. But I think he'll be okay. And you kind of saw it last year, and he still fully hasn't even broken through yet to the point where we could say, okay, we're good with that. But Collin Chandler, I mean, last year he was shooting pretty bad. And
we looked at Collin Chandler last year like, oof.
Yeah, and
maybe
now
you shouldn't have taken that year between college and high school.
Exactly.
Know what I mean?
And now it's like we're doing the same thing with Cam Williams, but I think he'll be okay.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I just love to poke fun and see what
I mean, it's
people
totally
think
valid to talk about because for the people that don't look into it the way that we look at it and they just scrape over the stats.
Yeah, and you look at the stats where he played 18 minutes and had 2 points, 2 rebounds on 33% from the field, 0% from 3. Yeah, I look at that and I'd be a little scared too. But there's a lot of time and the depth is there. So if they need to cut back his minutes a little bit, I'm sure they will. If they need to give him more time to keep shooting, I'm sure they will. But that's also something they talked about, is that they're going to shoot through their slumps. Yeah. And obviously they're not starting great, but they know what they can do. And Coach wants them to keep shooting through these issues. Shoot or shoot. And so as long as they keep doing so, I think they'll be all right. One other guy I wanted to highlight, Malachi. Yeah. In his very, limited role that he had last night. 5 points, 9 rebounds, and assists on 40%. We'll ignore the free throw percentage. It's like 16%. Yeah. It's not pretty. But, it's all right. He's a center. But, it's impressive to see what, and we've kind of touched on this a little bit. We didn't really know what he was going to look like, what role he was going to take behind BG.
Being out, he was
and JQ being out. Exactly.
Faster than he was expected to.
Yeah, and then sometimes they will put, Mo D at the 5 for play a small ball lineup. So there's a lot of different ways that they implement him into the offense. But his impact on the defense, I think, is great because I'm not sure exactly how many of his rebounds were defensive rebounds, but it felt like he was always there. You know what I mean?
4 offensive, 5 defensive.
Yeah, it's like he knows, all right, if I'm not going to be taking the shots, I'm going to be down here getting the rebound.
He always seems to have really good positioning.
Yeah, he seems to be like he knows exactly what to do, and that's great because in the first games of the year, he looked like a deer in headlights, lost puppy. He didn't really know what he was doing. But seeing how quickly he's developing into a role, I think Malachi could be a huge piece to this team going on in the future. Yeah,
totally. I agree with that for sure. And moving on to another who I think was obviously a solid standout, the lefty Rob Dillingham. Yeah. Jasper Johnson, he looks good too. 11 points, 1 rebound, 4 assists, 1 steal. He pinned him, right, on the glass or hit it off the backboard.
Yeah. It was like just off the backboard.
Yeah, and I was like, wait, I didn't know he could do that. Why is he there? Why is he doing that?
Yeah, no, I was a little shocked because I was like, you see, obviously Collin would make a play like that. Yeah. You see guys who are a little grittier making stuff like that. But I'm like, hey, all the power to you because if Jasper's going out there and he's doing the dirty work, he's buying in. He's ready.
He's doing his flashy crossovers, step backs, the turnaround, the half turnaround.
Yeah,
that move's called. It's like, so if he could do that, which is what we know he could do and what we're expecting from him. If he could also be pinning guys on the glass like that, that's big for Jasper too.
For sure.
So the 2 freshmen look good.
Yeah, definitely. And the last person I think we could touch on other than obviously, so there's 4 guys who scored double digits. Denzel Aberdeen, somebody we expected to come in and be a constant as the year started. Sure. We expected him to come in and be like, I know what it takes. I've won a national championship. I'm a vet, you know what I mean? And I can play at whatever they need me to do. Yep. He came out there and he performed. He had a lot of minutes out there, 23. Obviously, not a lot of minutes, but when you think about what this team is and how many minutes people are playing with the injuries, 23 is decent.
He also came off the bench because he had a minor, I think he said a hamstring strain.
Yeah, that he's still working through. But obviously, it didn't affect him too hard. Yeah, because he went 10 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists, 44%. And 20% from the 3, I think, is just coming back to the shooting is still not there right now for Kentucky. So I think those numbers will increase, but production was there for him.
Yeah, and 44.4% from the field. If you could be making half your shots a night, taking 9, that's all right. Yeah. I mean, he's not the standout player. He was a role player at Florida for 2 years, and he was on that national championship squad. We talk about that all the time. But people like to talk a lot, including me, about when they think of Denzel, they think of his mindset, how he knows what it takes to win on the court and off the court. But also, when you look at his role as a player, if he's out here giving 10 points a night and, getting some assists, rebounds, like
chef's kiss. Yeah, that's all you need.
That's all we asked for.
It's all you asked for.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's all we thought we were going to get. You can't go over the top.
Exactly. And there's nothing better than when everybody that you recruit to come play for your team comes and does the exact role that you recruited them to do. Yeah. And he came in without skipping a beat, instantly made an impact. Obviously, we'll keep coming back to the fact that the shooting was horrible. Yeah. So it's not going to always be like this. But he picked up the slack in a lot of the places where Kentucky was having a tough time, especially in the first half. So I think Denzel will continue to be the constant we have all year, and he's going to be one of the most valuable pieces.
Yeah, no, I think overall, wrapping it up, I think they'll be okay.
Yeah.
The first half,
I think they'll be all right. Yeah.
First half, I would have said they'll still be okay, but I'm hitting the panic button. But seeing the second half, I'm very, very happy with that. I just really wish that we know what to expect with Valparaiso right now, because that's going to be a big teller before they go into Louisville.
Yep. Obviously, that Louisville game is going to be played the day before our next episode. I was just going
to say that. So when the next time we're talking to you guys, we will either be talking positively or really negatively for losing to their rival. Yeah,
definitely.
Louisville, so.
Yeah, and it's always weird because we've talked about it a little bit, but them playing Louisville so early in the schedule is such a weird feeling because it seems like always they play them late and there's so much build up and more time for them to become higher ranked teams, stuff like that, and really clash. But no, I'm excited. I think it's going to be a great matchup. I'm not – it's hard because it's like I want to say Kentucky's going to win.
Yeah.
I want to. You know what I mean? I want to be like, this will be fine. They're a good team.
Right.
They're going to be all right. But they're going into Yum, and that's a rowdy environment that these guys have never played in before.
Their rowdiest game of the year,
yeah,
I guess. I don't know much of their non-conference schedule. Maybe when Duke comes in, but that won't nearly be anywhere.
Yeah, and I mean, it's like – It's like, you know, obviously rivalries are rivalries, but Louisville, Kentucky is like Red Sox, Yankees for these people. You know what I mean?
And now it's back.
Yeah, and this is like Barca, Madrid. Like these are literal like classic, timeless
Mark
rivalries.
Pope and Pat Kelsey with the recruiting
got into it at Tay Kinney's little thing.
That makes it even more like
it just adds to the story. You know what I mean? It adds a piece to the puzzle. So I'm. Right now with how they look, and obviously how they look against Valpo is going to mean a lot. But right here on this very day, how they looked against Nicholls, I think Louisville is going to take this one.
Yeah, I'm going to go against you on that just because.
Okay.
Just to get some separation in here.
Yeah.
I could totally see Louisville winning this. But depending on how they play, Kentucky's historically dominated. I could also see Kentucky winning this.
It's tough.
I think it's going to be a low-scoring game. I think it's going to be
strong defense.
Yeah,
definitely.
I mean, I think everyone's going to be batting down the hatches, or whatever the expression is. And
excuse me, sorry.
Bless you.
No, I agree.
Batting down the hatches, and every defensive stand is life or death.
Yeah,
life or death. And Kentucky's defense looks good. So if that's what the game,
I love watching basketball like that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. It's like when you get down to the floor and the defender's basically slapping the ground every possession.
Height.
Yeah,
that's what it comes down to. I think Kentucky's winning that. Part.
Yeah, definitely. So. I think I definitely see a strong argument for both sides.
Yep. You got a score prediction?
Ooh.
I'm putting you to the test. You said Louisville, but give me a score.
Let me go Louisville like 76 to 72, 71. You know, something where they're like in the 70s, 60s, 70s, and it's going to be close, but somebody will pull away.
Yeah. I'm going to go Kentucky 81-76.
Okay.
Just stands out to me. It's not a big difference. Still higher up somewhat, but still not the amount of points that they should and could put up, and ones that they would individually as two teams put up against other teams, if that makes sense.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, both of these teams could drop a hundo on anyone who they play. But I think when you have the rivalry and the grittiness of the coaching of this matchup, I think it's going to definitely change how both of these teams look at it.
Yeah.
On a little bit lighter note, let's get a little prediction for Valpo.
I was just going to say that. Yeah. I'll kick us off. I'm going to go Kentucky 89 to 65.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that would be a solid win, and I could see that for sure.
I want to be like, they're going to drop 90 and have a rebound game.
Yeah, we learned our lesson with the Georgetown game.
Oh, I learned my lesson so bad with the Georgetown game. Yeah. So I do think it'll be somewhere. Maybe give me like 86, 87 to – I think they'll hold them under 60. Yeah. Maybe like 57.
Like I said before, I'm going to be completely honest. I don't know how much firepower Valparaiso has on offense, but seeing just going off of last year, and they won their first game against Eastern Illinois 66-63, who Kentucky will end up playing in, I think it's the BBN United tip-off.
Yeah, I believe it's the week in between Louisville and
Michigan State.
Yeah,
so I don't think that they're going to put up a lot of points on Kentucky. The only way that I feel like my score prediction would be right is is if Kentucky's first half isn't played the way that it was was in the Nicholls game.
Yeah.
But we'll see where it goes from there. And the next time we're coming at you guys, like we said before, we will have a rivalry game to talk about in either a very good way or a very frustrating way.
And I do think that game is going to dictate a lot for how the rest of the season
and moving
goes.
forward, for sure.
So I guess that's when we'll really know whether or not we have to hit that panic button.
Yeah, and it's early still at that point. It would be the third game,
but that's a matchup where I feel like
you can still overreact.
You can overreact for that one for sure, because when you look at the team last year, they were going out and getting wins against Gonzaga and Seattle and
Duke.
Yeah, against Duke early on. You know what I mean? So they're pulling out gritty wins
Final
like
Four
that.
Duke, that we could talk about that now. I mean,
exactly.
No one really talked about that game meaning as much as it did. At the time, it meant a lot, but seeing that they went to the Final Four, that opens up a whole new can of worms
for sure. So it's interesting to see how the differences of the firepower of these two teams are gonna come out, because if Kentucky does the same thing as last year, where they come out and win those gritty battles if they have to, then
earn himself a good resume.
Yeah, they're definitely gonna have some tough wins as the season goes on.
Yeah, and I think Pope did that on purpose.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
He knows if they lose those, they'll be okay. It's good challenges, but if they win, it only looks good for them.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
Yeah. That wraps it up for us here at the Rupp Report. Thank you guys so much for watching and listening wherever you are. Make sure you follow the Field of 68 on all socials. Wherever you listen or watch your podcasts, we'll be there. Once again, thank you guys for listening. I'm Tyler Russell. This is Israel.